Hi, I'm Gail and welcome to lowcarbrecipeIdeas.com. Today we're going to make a low-carb pound cake. It's absolutely delicious. I've made it a couple of times and sometimes it doesn't seem like it bakes enough and I do it longer and it gets quite dark, but it has a great flavor. And then other times I get it to work perfect. So I think it's a little finicky, but let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in a quarter of a cup of soft butter. Now I left mine out, but I still felt it wasn't totally soft enough, so I put it in the microwave for a couple of seconds just to make it a little softer. And then I've got a 3/4 cup of erythritol, and I powdered it so that it is like icing sugar because it works so much better than the actual crystals. So we're going to blend this together. So now we're going to add 1/3 cup of cream cheese plus 1 tablespoon of soft cream cheese. Now I left it out for room temperature also, but I did put it in the microwave again for a few seconds just to make it a little softer. So we're going to blend this all together also. So now I need 4 eggs, and we are to put them in one at a time. So I actually cracked them and put them in little bowls. So we're going to mix them individually, one at a time. So just stop and take your spatula and just go around the edges to make sure you got all the cream cheese and stuff mixed well. So I'm just going to put the mixer on one more time, and then we can make sure we got all them nice and smooth. Now we're going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla. This recipe is delicious. Absolutely love it. So the next thing we're going to do is put in our dry ingredients. So I've got a cup of almond meal. Now I've ground my own almonds. So you're going to see that it has brown flecks in it because it still has the skin on it, which is a lot healthier for you. You get more with the fiber with the skin on it. And then I have a 1/4 cup. So I have 1 1/4 cup of my almond flour. Now I want to put all my dry ingredients on top. So I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and then 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So all I'm going to do is just take and sort of mix my salt and baking powder together, and then we're going to mix it up with the mixer. Okay, now we're going to butter our loaf pan and we'll get it in the oven. So I've got a little bit of parchment paper, I've put a little bit of butter on it, and we're just going to butter up the pan. So I'll make sure I get it in all the little corners and creases so that my loaf flops out when it's all finished. And I have told you a little story in my other videos where when I was being raised, my mom used to always use Kleenexes, so that I always used Kleenexes and put butter on it, and then we would put it in the pans. But I always had lots of lint. I didn't like that, so parchment paper or wax paper works so much better. Okay, so now we are going to take our batter and pour it into the loaf pan. This is absolutely delicious. It is one of my favorites, and I probably will be making this every week just so I have some sweetness. So I've got the temperature at 350, and I'm going to put it in between 30 and 40 minutes. The last batch that I made, it took almost 40 minutes. So the one before that, it was only 30 minutes. So it just depends. Now I just took it out of the oven. It was in for 35 minutes. I used the toothpick. It's clear and it smells delicious. So we're going to cut it up, let it cool down, cut it up, and we'll sample it. So hopefully we can get it to come out of the pan. So I just take my knife around. This is a plastic knife because I'm using a Teflon pan. Still a little warm, so hopefully it comes out. There we go, perfect. Just turn it over and we'll let it cool down, and then we can try it out. So here is a slice of my low-carb cream cheese pound cake. Now I found the recipe on vitoservegroup.com, and I wanted to try it, share it with you, and really see if it's as good as they make it look like on the site. And I must say it is very good. I truly enjoy it. I made it a couple of times. The first time I made it with blanched almond meal that was already made up, and it's quite a white pound cake, yellowy white, whereas I used my blanched almonds and I ground them up and made them this way. Great flavor. Really impressed with it. This is something that I'll make quite often. To find the recipe, go to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. Try this recipe and try some of my other ones. You take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.